Finally, somebody said it. This video is brought to you by the Officer Tatum Store. The Officer Tatum Store. Get the merch link in the description section. Make sure you like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell to get notifications anytime I go live. Make sure that you're still subscribed to the channel. Some people have been unsubscribed. So just check on that for me and we're going to be straight. Let's get into this. ASAP Rocky. Thank God he said this. Now, the whole speech or the panel that he was on, he could have said a whole bunch of BS. But at least what he said in this video made a lot of sense. It's literally what I have been talking about for like 4 or 5 years now. It is clear as the noonday sun, the conflict between police in the inner city and why you can't talk about it unless you're going to talk about black on black crime. So for those of you who don't know who ASAP Rocky is, he's a rapper, an American rapper that's really popular. Whether you listen to rap music or not, he's very popular. Rap music, or the genre of rap, is probably the most popular genre in the United States of America. If it's not one, it's a close second. So he's a very popular, influential young man. He is also the individual that was detained in Sweden that the president of the United States came out and tried to use some leverage and power to get him freed. He was eventually returned back to the United States of America. So if you're still guessing who he is, that's who the guy is. Now, let's get into what he said. I want you guys to listen to what he said so you can hear it from the horse's mouth and tell me. I want you to tell me in the comment section, is this different than what B. Tatum talk about? They call me coon, sellout, Uncle Tom, bootlicking. They do the whole gamut on your boy. Because when I say something that ASAP Rocky said, but because he's a rapper and because he's popular in the black community, I guess people will listen to him. Listen to what the young man said. Roll the film.
Why are we exploiting the beef between the urban community and police officers, when in all reality, Memorial Weekend, 60 some odd people got shot just on a Friday and Saturday. 60 some odd people in one city, Chicago. Black on black crime. So one cop shoots a black person. Let's march. Let's protest. Because that's what they're doing. I feel like if you're not gonna really talk about the main topic, don't talk about it at all. We have to do something first. And it's within us eternally. Like we can't blame the police officers. What are we really hiding? And if we're gonna talk about that, let's talk about the black people killing black people. So if nobody wants to talk about that, neither do I.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, I could not agree with him more. I've been saying this forever. Like, if one police officer makes a mistake or even is negligent or even intentional in his behavior against a person in the minority community, one cop, and let me tell you how this works, because I think a lot of people get confused on this. One cop in one city out of all of the country, out of all of the states and counties and stuff in the United States, you're talking about one officer involved with one black person. And people are outraged all over the country. Wasn't even in their state, wasn't even in their county, wasn't even in their city. They have no attachment to it, but they outrage. Yet, you have all over the country on a day-to-day basis, violence in the inner city, whether it's the R word, whether it's that word, whether it's, and y'all know I can't say it, but you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm getting to. No matter what the crime is, no matter what the cause is for someone to lose their life, there are African-American people and minorities involved in causing that all over the country, every day, all day, and nobody says anything. And what he was alluding to, and I think he was referring to, I think it was a couple years ago when I was still a police officer, there was 82 shootings in Chicago. And most of them on the south side of Chicago. 82 shootings in one weekend. 14 people lost their lives, ranging from a toddler all the way up to like a 70, 80-year-old man. And not one of these activists came out and said anything. We're going to talk about the young man, Tashawn Lee. Some of y'all know who he is. Some of you don't. He was in the alleyway. Some guys wanted to retaliate against his father, so they shot him in the head, execution style. And then they put cigarette butts out on the boy. His grandmother had to find him in the alley, bleeding out. And that was a cold-blooded situation. Nobody said anything. There was another young man. I don't remember his name. I have to look his name up specifically. 16-year-old young man burned in a dumpster, alive. Alive by other African-American people in the inner city. I mean, we could go down the list. 6,000 African-Americans every year. And I'm speaking of African-Americans because I looked up the stats for black folks. I can't add Hispanics and others in there. African-Americans alone, over 6,000 of them are killed by other black people every year. Every year. The leading cause of death in the black community is black on black murder, especially for people around my age. Now, the ultimate leading cause of death is heart disease, diabetes, and other things like that. But when you're talking about people my age, young men, which is a large amount of population of black people in America, it's black on black violence. And I don't know why people don't talk about it. The only way we're going to fix this is if we actually have a legit conversation. Don't call people names. Don't get mad. Don't get in your feelings. Let's have a legit conversation. It's no harm in saying we need to look in the mirror. We can be mad when an officer do something that's irrational, that's wrong. There's systems in place to handle that. Everybody knows who did it. And the person is going to, by and large, for the most part, is going to get tried and investigated properly. But when you're talking about inner city violence, they won't even snitch. People in the community won't even tell. They're not going to even give police information. They can't even find the person who did it. And if they do know who did it, they're not going to tell anybody. That person is going to do it to 5 and 6 people before you actually get caught. That's on top of selling drugs and all this other stuff that goes on in the inner city. The reason why it's dilapidated and all of the above. Now, we have to at least say, let's look in the mirror. Let's look in the mirror, ladies and gentlemen. If these things are going on in the community, then how about we take advantage of the opportunity to fix them? How about we come out even protesting and say, let's stop the no snitching thing. Let's stop the no snitching thing. How do we work with the police department to make that happen? We see people selling drugs on the corner. I grew up in a black neighborhood. I see them all the time. We know who the dope boys was. You know who the crackheads are. It's clear as the noonday sun. How do we stop this from happening? We got to communicate with law enforcement. Even if you're not communicating with law enforcement, go talk to your politicians. Maybe there's laws that you can put into place. Maybe there's sentencing guidelines that need to be evaluated so that even the low-level person won't spend the rest of their life in jail, but they have to be held accountable. Those are things that citizens can do. But I'm telling you, the problem is people don't want to acknowledge it. Everywhere I go, I've been to colleges all over the country, and I've been to some colleges where it was primarily black, and people are just outraged at me just giving simple facts and truth. I had a lady call in. She sounded like she was white. I don't know what color she was. And she called into the radio station, and she was trying to tell me that I was wrong when I gave the stat that half of violent crimes and murders in America are perpetuated by black people. She tried to tell me I was wrong. I'm like, lady, this is FBI statistics. This is FBI statistics. And she go, no, it's not. That's not the FBI statistics. And I say, well, what statistics do you have? What are the numbers? Well, that's in the black community. Quit being ignorant. All 99% of the crimes in the black community are perpetuated by other black people. Same in the white community. Most people that are like race or like culture, they live together. So the number that I'm telling is not just in the black community. That's probably 99% of the crimes. I'm talking about numbers nationwide. And then there's also a number that I brought up that she didn't want to, I guess, admit to, was that black people are twice as likely to commit crimes against whites as whites against blacks in this era. I'm not talking about 70 years ago. I'm talking about now, right now. And nobody wants to talk about it. So B. Tatum got to talk about it. But at the end of the day, I like what A$AP Rocky said. You know, I think the young man got some wisdom there. You know what I'm saying? I don't listen to his music. I guarantee you it wouldn't be selling if he was positive in all his songs. I guarantee you that. But I like what he said, man. If he didn't say nothing else normal, at least that was meaningful. That was a positive message. And I think people need to listen to that. People need to start taking heed to that. And I hope that the young black folks that are listening to him some of them will say, dang, you know, you're right, because they ain't listening to me. Some of them will. Most of them ain't. But for him, maybe he'll get more people that'll pay attention to what he's saying, and maybe there could be a change initiated. I would love to sit down and chop it up with him, because I wonder, can he really be the linchpin of connecting both sides and figuring something out? So I may reach out to ASAP Rocky and see if he want to collab on something, me and a couple other people, if he don't want to do one-on-one, because I really think that there is a necessity for voices that people listen to actually say the right stuff so people can actually change. Anyway, let me know what y'all think in the comment section. Like and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell so you get notifications anytime I go live. What else? Visit the Officer Tatum store. I love that the store has been tremendous. Thousands of people have gone to the store and purchased this shirt and other shirts that we have and hats and stuff. So first of all, I want to say I appreciate the people who are customers of the store, appreciate the support. But go on to the store. Make sure you sign up for the rewards program, because we got people that's spending thousands of dollars on the store and they're not getting any points. You spend $1,000 on the store, you're going to get 30% off and stuff on some of your merchandise. That's how I set it up for you to win. But you got to sign up for the program. But anyway, I'll see you guys on the next one. Hope you liked the video. Peace.